Houston Network. On this episode of Table Talk, we will be talking about education censorship. I'm Julissa Garza.
I'm James Biscoe.
I'm Madison.
I'm Mikaela, Hubert.
And I'm Stafford.
So some people will say that censorship in education is a good thing, but is it harming more than it is helping? What do you guys think?
I feel like it is more harming nowadays than helping because you can't censor something that's educational. If you want to learn, you have to tell the truth and straight facts. So hiding things or censoring it only limits people, not benefit people. That's just how I take on that.
Right. I feel that the children need to know where they come from and why we have certain things, and censoring it is basically sugarcoating it so they don't know the whole thing that's going on.
Absolutely, I agree. I mean, you can't just censor things that actually happened. I mean, that's kind of crazy. So no, I think it is harming. Maybe you could bring the ages up a little bit if you think it's violent to younger kids, but I don't think you should censor it altogether.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, this is real life and this is reality, and stuff like that is happening every day.
And that's the problem with America today. We try to hide everything, and that's why we're going through what we go through now, because people are not honest, people are not truthful, and we're trying to cover up lie after lie after lie. Just be honest, and everybody will be well off.
That's a really good point because, you know how people say it's good to learn about history because if not, it'll repeat itself. And so right now we can see a lot of things in history repeating itself, and textbooks are kind of having a lot of censorship in them. There's a third grade textbook that says when the European settlers arrived, they needed land to live on, and the First Nations people agreed to move to different areas to make room for the new settlements. I mean, I'm sure that shocked y'all as much as me. James, what do you think about that? Because you are Native American, and I know Madison has family who's Native American as well. I mean, what do you guys think about a third grade textbook being taught that?
I think it's terrible because you don't have to blame people now for what their ancestors did, but you do have to recognize it. It happened. And if you don't recognize it, then it could happen again. And it's just sad because I know so many people within my family even have lost lands and things like this. So to make it seem like they're just moving away to make more room is not only false, but it's hurtful and it's offensive.
Definitely.
Yeah, even my grandfather was a U.S. history teacher, and having him, be Native American and teach, kids that, Columbus did this and he came to America and he did all these things. I mean, he said it didn't go against what he believed, but
absolutely, it's very sad. I think everybody can agree with that. Like I said,
definitely.
You don't have to blame people for it, but you do have to recognize it, and that goes with everything, not just the whole Christopher Columbus Native American thing, all the wars that we've been through and that we've won and lost on every side of not only America but the world. You have to recognize that it happened, because if you don't, then it happens again, because people don't see that this has happened before and it didn't turn out well, so let's not do it again.
And I think it's important to know the history and where you come from. So if you don't know the true fact about it and you go somewhere else and it's like you don't even know your own country or your own whatever history. So I feel like it's just good to be knowledgeable on, or just have the knowledge on everything. So.
Definitely, I agree with what all of you guys are saying. Another thing that is in education censorship right now, not only textbooks, but just a banned book list. Recently, Of Mice and Men, Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, and To Kill a Mockingbird are going to be released because these books are controversial and make people feel uncomfortable. What do you guys think about that?
Okay, just touching on what Madison said, I feel like for those type of books, just make it an age limit, because those books actually talk about a lot of important things. So if they feel like, okay, well, some people shouldn't read it, they should access to only those that are 18 and up. So I don't feel like completely washing it away will be a very smart thing to do.
Right.
Not only not smart, but not beneficial. I mean, it is uncomfortable, and that's why it's a book. You have to know that these things happen. Racism existed, and it still exists. And if we don't recognize it, then how are we going to fix it? I mean, people that say it's uncomfortable sometimes are the same people that are making it uncomfortable. So if it's very uncomfortable for you, it's probably because you're making it because you have things within yourself you need to fix or you're not educated in. So I feel like learning the book and learning why it's not good to treat people that way, or any of these books, or that it actually happened, makes people less uncomfortable because it makes them more educated on the subject.
Also, children are they're not mature enough to understand and to know. If you teach them in elementary and middle school, they'll just go out and say the inappropriate words over and over. That's why when I was in high school, we did read To Kill a Mockingbird, and it did, benefit us. No one laughed about it. Everyone pretty much understood.
Absolutely.
And I personally, I enjoyed the book, and I was like middle school, high school, so like I said, it probably goes with the maturity thing too, but still though, like that is something that needs to know. Like it started with us as kids, so why not let the future kids have the same experience that we had? It's only fair, it's only right.
Definitely, and I can't believe to take out those books, because I remember when I was in high school, we read To Kill a Mockingbird, and my English teacher made us have a tea party, and everybody dressed up as a character from To Kill a Mockingbird, and then we understood the book even more, which helped us grow. So I feel like it's a good part of education to teach children things. Now, also within education, we have other things that are causing education censorship, not just textbooks or, just regular books. Also, children not being able to speak what they feel. For example, the girl who is suing her school, her principal, for expelling her for not standing during the Pledge of Allegiance. Do you guys have any comments on that story?
In the Constitution, we do have freedom of speech. Therefore, we can, express how we feel, and if we have that particular opinion, we shouldn't be punished for how we feel in that particular circumstance.
And also, I feel like that just goes with like religion. You're subject to believe what you want to believe. So if they don't want to do that or against that, that's their own reason. If that's not affecting you, if they're not disrespecting you, then it shouldn't be a problem. As long as they're just, staying in their own zone, being respectful of others, then it really shouldn't be an issue at all.
Right. Freedom of speech is also the right to not speak or not stand for something.
Definitely.
It's not just the right to do it, it's the right to not do it and not be persecuted for it.
Definitely, and the crazy thing also is that this school has a rule that if you don't stand during the Pledge of Allegiance, you have to have a note from your parent to excuse you. And I don't know about you guys, do you remember in like middle school, high school, there was kids who didn't stand during the Pledge of Allegiance, and I never had a teacher who once said, hey, you need to stand up, or hey, you need to say the pledge. But why so much controversy about it now?
Well, I think based off that, why some teachers may say, oh, hey, you need to stand because they feel like it's distracting to other students. It's like, why is that kid sitting down? We're all standing. So I kind of get where they come from with that, but at the end of the day, if that person is set on their beliefs, you can't change no one's beliefs. So just because it might look that way to another student, that other student might have their own personal reasons that the other student don't. So, it can go tick for tack, but at the end of the day, they're free to do what they want, so.
Right. This originally came from the NFL, and it's a silent protest against injustice within the criminal system as well as racism. So that's where it originally came from. They're not against the flag or the national anthem. They're against those particular issues.
Right, and to kind of go off of what Mikaela said, I feel like we've gotten to a point that people are defending the flag more than what the flag stands for. You don't have to stand for a flag. It is just symbolism of what it stands for. So as long as you're getting the key ideas of what the flag stands for, you don't need to stand for the flag. And if you need to understand why people are sitting, there's a reason that they're not standing. It's not just to be a rebel or whatever. It's because there are serious issues that we need to fix. And if that's how people feel the need to fix it or bring attention to it, then so be it.
Definitely, and that goes with, freedom of speech. It's beautiful because people have the right to protest against something, and then if you don't like it, well, then you have the right to not say something about it or just to keep it to yourself. And the crazy thing is that it's almost like it's become personal biases from these teachers in school. They've let all this political chaos get in the way of treating their students with respect, because this girl was getting comments in the administration office about this is not the NFL. And that's not something you tell a child just because she politely said, no, I don't want to stand. And she originally went into the office for being on her cell phone, which I think is just absolutely crazy. Is there anything else you guys would like to touch on about education censorship? Maybe a textbook example, book, or something you guys have seen personally?
I believe censorship shouldn't be a certain thing when it comes to education. Ban that completely. Ban that idea completely. Like, educate your people, educate others around you, educate the young, educate the future, okay? We have a lot of bad things going on right now, so we need to educate our future, so they can be prepared for all of this that's going on right now. Nothing should be censored because stops things. They don't help things and keep them things going how they should. So, I'm just not for the censorship at all.
Majority of the things that they're teaching now is based off of what's going to be on the TAKS test or the STARS test. They're not really touching bases on the history, which, like you said, I do feel that they need to.
Absolutely. I think a great way to put it and to end it on for me is that censorship is the exact opposite of education. If you're censoring people, you're not educating them. And educators need to educate people no matter how uncomfortable they might feel. I'm sorry, it's an uncomfortable topic, but if you censor it, then it's not education, it is a censorship program. It's brainwashing.
Yeah. In order to grow, we need education, and censoring certain things is not helping us grow.
Definitely. It's almost like children that are currently in elementary, middle school, and high school aren't going to learn the same things that we learned or won't be exposed to the same things. So how can they travel to another country and not know about their own history and think, no, we never did this, the U.S. never did that, or I don't know what that book is. It's almost making the future children like, what's the word I want to say? It's almost making them like uneducated, less cultured. That's so mean. But definitely kids need to be exposed to the truth. Like textbooks should say, hey, this is what happened, and let that child take that information and decide how they want to feel about it. If they don't want to believe it or they don't like it, okay. Just, keep it in your mind and be knowledgeable so that when you speak to people, you don't sound ignorant.
Absolutely.
Definitely. You've heard our thoughts and opinions on education censorship. Now we want to hear back from all of you. So make sure to comment below and let us know what you think. Once again, this has been Sam Houston Network with another episode of Table Talk. Are you on Twitter? Shook it.